Hi everyone. Today I will introduce you to the consoleized CPS2 arcade board. So I bought this off a guy on eBay a couple of years ago. So what he basically did was to modify an existing CPS2 arcade board to be able to output to your CRT or flat screen monitor. So it came with an option to either have RGB output or HDMI output. Since I mainly play on my PVMs or BVMs, I chose the RGB output. So the Capcom CPS2 board was Capcom's main arcade board in the 90s. Many of their big hits like Street Fighter Alpha, Darkstalkers, X-Men vs Street Fighter and many other games were released on the CPS2 arcade board. And the board came in an A board. This is the A board, which is the main arcade board, and a B board. The B board are the game cartridges. You could call them cartridges because they are huge arcade PCBs enclosed in a plastic shell. So let's take a closer look at this. The controller outputs, as you can see here, are the same as the one on the Neo Geo. So you can basically take any Neo Geo controller and hook it up. You have audio outputs. The fan on the CPS2 board is very loud. It's famous for being very loud, but that's not an issue, since usually these boards are already inside the arcade cabinet, so you're not annoyed by the fan. But this one, since this is going to be used as a consoleized version, the fan becomes an issue. What he did was to remove the normal fan and instead use the silent fan. It's still quite loud, but not nearly as loud as the normal one. On the back we have the power output, and we have the cable for the RGB output. We have a small lamp here which shows when it's turned on. It lights up when it's turned on, and you have a on and off button here. So yeah, let's have a look at how the B board looks like. The B board is, as I mentioned, the game cartridges. So they are huge, heavy, and yeah, they're also region locked, because Capcom, they took lots of measures to restrict the access to these, because to fight the bootlegs, which was a very common issue with the CPS1 board. So this one is region locked. The green ones, this is the green board, is mainly for Japan. There's a blue board which is for the States, and I think Latin America had a red one, and there's also a gray one for Asia, I think. Maybe I mixed it up, but yeah. So this is the green Japanese board. This is the yellow board. It's a bit more rare than the other ones, because the yellow one is region free. This is a rental board. The rental boards came in these yellow cases. Yeah, I should also mention that there's another issue with these boards, which is very common. There's a battery inside these boards that needs to be changed after a while. So Capcom also made a restriction regarding those batteries. If you want to change the battery, you need to do it in a very specific way, and if you mess it up, the board will lock, so you won't be able to access the board any longer. But thankfully the homebrew community has produced an alternative way to remove those batteries. So you can basically get rid of the battery and just use it without any restrictions. So you need to put the B board firmly inside the A board, and then I need to connect my controller. So yeah, I'm using a standard Neo Geo arcade controller, but as I mentioned, you can use anything that uses the same pins, and I'll turn it on. So this is the Alien vs Predator arcade game. This is considered as one of the best beat 'em ups ever. I will turn down the volume a bit. Yeah, I should also mention that there is a small green button here. If you push it, it enters the dip switches. So as you can see here, you can choose to edit the settings, the sound settings, the color settings, the memory settings and difficulties and stuff like that. So yeah, so you have easy access to the dip switches. So this is Super Muscle Bomber International Blowout. This is actually the sequel to the game called Saturday Night Slam Master, which was released both in the arcades and on the Super Nintendo and as well as Mega Drive. But I think this sequel was only released in the arcades. Let's turn it on. We also have the option to choose Hagar from Final Fight. Let's try out Hagar. Yeah, so that's the Super Muscle Bomber fighting game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, suggestions or questions or anything, just leave them in the comment field, and please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Take care.